Alright guys, today on the channel we're going to turn this into this. Stay tuned, I'm going to show you. Alright guys, so once you have those numbers from your crib size, so the width of from post to post, so you're going to come down and you're going to rip these pieces. Now what I ended up using is I got some MDF pieces, 6-inch pieces that they sell right at Lowe's. They're already white primed and everything, so they'll work perfect for matching the rest of the stuff upstairs. So I got these cut. So I have one widthwise one, which is 51 1/4 to go with my crib, and then two lengthwise ones, which are 73. The way this is going to work, I'm going to use the backboard as the headboard, and then they'll have two pieces coming out and then the one piece coming across. But you're still going to need to have two legs unless you want to cut down the legs off of your front ones and reuse them. So I bought two pieces, or a piece of oak that I cut down. It's just 1x oak, and I'm going to end up painting that white after I drill the holes in. So those will be my two front legs that these pieces are going to attach to. So that'll make the whole front. Then what I have is these are the side pieces, and what these are going to do is they're going to get attached to the sides, and that's what the plywood's going to rest on, that the mattress is going to go on. So you'll need those pieces. So I got a couple pieces here for those, and then in between those coming across I'm going to have a couple supports for the actual middle of the bed too. And I might put a leg in the middle. I'm going to see how it goes here, just so that it has a little extra support in the middle. So between those pieces, and then over here, if you see this big piece of plywood on the back here, that's actually going to be my base. So that's going to sit on these edges that I'm going to attach to the side rails and the front rail. And I'll cut those down lengthwise and widthwise into two pieces so you can take it apart easier. And those will rest across the board, and then you put the mattress down on that. So that's how we're going to make this bed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Kreg jig again, and I'm going to drill out these holes, and I'll show you how we figure out how we're going to attach these and where we're going to put the cross pieces and stuff. So for those of you who are familiar, this is the Kreg jig. It comes with drill bits, and the drill bits, the way it's fed in, it's set up so that this part sits on whatever you're drilling into, and then it drills pocket holes into it, and it's made to go just through it. And then this little tip right here is what the screw actually is. So when the screw goes in, it screws up to that point. So it's just a neat little way of putting holes in here, and then you can screw in from behind so you don't see any of the screws on the actual outside of the bed. So this is how you set it up. I got the drill bit in here. I got the depth set already. If you want to see how to do that, you can see it right in the directions. But what you do is this clamp is made to clamp this thing right down. So you just adjust it for whatever you're working with, and then you clamp it down. So I'm going to do one hole right in the center of this, and another hole here, and then I'll move it over and we'll do one more hole over here. So it's just this simple. You just stick it in here, and that's it. Do that one, and we'll do this one. Just like that. And then I'll move this over. I like to do this, tap out the wood that got stuck in there. So I'm going to line this up again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over, and I'll clamp this back down. And I'll do one more hole. And that's it. So then take that off. And then what you end up with, if you can see it, is the holes right in there. And that'll give us 3 joints to hook to our post over here. So this will go on the end of here like this, and then we'll be able to screw in 3 spots so it's nice and sturdy. So that's what we're going to do. This is this outside piece, so I'm going to do 3 on the other side, then I'm going to do 3 on each end of the bigger ones, and then we'll move on. Alright, as you can see, I got these holes drilled on the ends of all these. Now what I want to do next is figure out where I want to put these, so I need to measure out how far down I want these to be. I know the plywood is a 1/2 inch thick, and I want it to be just below the surface of the edge. So what I'm going to do is measure down, we'll say 5/8 sounds like a good number. And what I'll do is I'll just make a mark at 5/8, and then I'll mark it down at the other edge here, and then what I'm going to do is draw some lines right down here, and then that'll give me a nice guide to put these pieces in. And then what I'll do is glue and brad nail them on so they'll be nice and solid, and that'll be my edge for the bed to actually sit on, the plywood and everything. So what I'm going to do is finish measuring these out and do these lines. What I did is I cut these down with a little bit of an angle on them, both ends, because when I put this on here, I'm going to nail it down and screw it, or nail it down and glue it. I got to be able to get into the screws in here, so I got to have that little bit of an angle here and there, because the cross piece is going to be right here, so I got to be able to screw that into. So I got these pieces. I'm going to glue these 4 pieces down, and then we'll nail them in. So what I got is some Titebond. I'm just going to glue this down. Just pop a little glue down here. I want it to be fairly strong. It's got to hold a lot of weight here. I'll try to line it up with this line. So line it up around the line. And we'll nail her down. That'll do her. So that's all glued up. I'm going to do the other 4 across here, and then we'll move on. Alright, clean up my little bit of glue here, and that should be good. We'll move on. Alright guys, so I got all these pieces glued and nailed on. So these will be all my supports for the inside piece of the plywood. I did the end one as well with the full piece. I cut this piece, which is going to be the cross piece that's going to go right in here. And it's going to sit right in there, and that'll be my middle support across the bed. So I'm going to drill 2 more pocket holes on each side of this piece, because I got a pocket hole to add in. I'll let these dry. We'll have to attach 1 more of these to the headboard so that it covers the top end. And then once this is all dry, we'll be able to put this all together. So these will be nice and glued on here for support. Whatever the width of your overall crib is, that's how you get these measurements in here. Like this ends up being 53 inches because it's 54.5 from end to end, from corner to corner of the posts. So you minus off the thickness of 2 of these boards, which are going to be on one on each side, and that's how you get the cross piece. So it'll be different for each one of you. So whatever your measurements are, then you will counteract that with this. So let me get this screwed with Craig jig, and then we'll be able to put this together. So for this cross piece, I decided to add a couple supports that'll sit on the floor in the middle, and that'll give me a little extra support with the plywood right in the middle of the bed. So I'm going to let those dry. I just tacked them on with glue. So if you guys can see, I got this set up. I'm going to drill these screws into my end pieces here, my actual frame. Like so. Now I'm going to end up taking these out because this is just for me to get holes in there. I just want to get the holes where they're supposed to be, and then I'll take it all apart. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other piece here on the end, but that one I'll actually keep the pieces in because I still have to paint them and everything. So just like that. Now the holes are all in here and I can take it back apart. Here we go, guys. I screwed this together onto this piece. So this one's all done. That'll be the outside piece of the bed. So you'll see I got the little lip right here. We're just going to trim the plywood around this little corner. So when it's sitting like that, the plywood will be resting right on here. And then it'll go that way. I'll have two pieces that'll meet right in the middle here. And then you got a bed. We'll just put the mattress right on this. Alright, so that piece is done. I have to paint these ends. This is all just primered, so I still got to paint this white. So what I'm going to do is I'll slap a coat of paint on this. So what I'm going to do is take this apart. I've never taken a crib apart. It's just either screws or Allen screws. This one happens to be Allen screws. So I'm just going to take all this stuff apart. First thing is first, you gotta take the crib bottom onto this. I got my Allen wrenches. So most cribs, these ones happen to be Allen screws. They'll either be Phillips or Allen. I think most of the ones nowadays, they make them out of Allen screws. And that just comes out. There you go. Same with this one. Now we got a headboard. I'm just putting these screws back in so I can keep track of them. You won't see them anyways once the mattress is on here. Alright, I'm going to set that back here. So, I have side pieces. These are all made of just MDF. These are 1x solid wood that I bought. Just chunks, and I made them the same height as where I'm going to sit on the headboard. This is the center piece for support. Each one of these has little ledges here that's going to fit the plywood base that's going to go on top of it. It's going to be two pieces. So now it's all Craig jig. So literally I'm just going to screw it all together with some Craig jigs, pocket holes. Alright, so all I did was Craig screw it all together. 3 screws in each one of these. 3 screws into the headboard, 2 screws on each of these. Frame is built, set where I want to put it. Now I got 2 plywood sheets that I'm going to lay on top of here, and that'll make my base. Alright, so I got 2 pieces of plywood cut here. They're notched out for the corners, and they're going to sit right on the edge here. Like so. And then they slip right in there like that. And then what I'll do is just throw a couple screws down right in these edges. Just a couple just to hold them in place. And then we'll just throw the mattress on top. But I'm not worried about this void because it's not holding any weight.